Hello, I would like to talk about mode mixture, or those chords that in mode mixture also called borrowed chords. Why are they borrowed? Well, they are borrowed from their parallel key. So let's imagine C major. If we build chords on each scale degree, they have certain chord qualities. The one chord is always major, the two chord minor, the three chord minor, the four chord major, the five chord major, the six chord minor, the seven chord diminished, and the same with the seventh chords. But let's just look at triads. So instead of, let's say, having a minor two chord, perhaps we borrow a chord from the parallel minor key from C minor, and in C minor the two chord would be diminished, or the four chord in C major, if we borrow it from minor, would be minor. So in the context of a progression, so it's a relatively subtle difference in this case, but I played the regular one chord, which is major, in C major, a sixth chord which is minor, a four chord which is major, but I didn't play a minor two chord, I played the diminished two chord. And then 5-7-1. Or maybe the four chord changes. So instead of a major, we have a minor. So we can also, let's say we are in a minor key, then the sixth chord is usually major, the four chord is minor, the two chord is diminished, and therefore usually in first inversion 5-7-1, but I could play so I played the C minor chord, I played an A flat major triad, which is a major six chord, but then I played a major four chord instead of a minor four chord, a major four chord, and the minor two chord instead of a diminished two chord. So why do composers do it? Well, they do it, and when do they do it? They do it especially during the Romantic period, because in the Romantic period we see an expansion of the harmonic vocabulary. And if then some of these chords are taken from the parallel minor, they sound a little bit unusual, so there's a greater palette of harmonic colors. But there was also one chord, one particular chord that was used very frequently in the Baroque period. And it may have sounded like this. It's very enlightening. Why is it enlightening? Because it was in a minor key. All the chords were in the chord qualities that we expect them to be in a minor key, but the very last one chord was not minor, it was major instead. So there we have this enlightening. So we have this in church music, but in other music as well. And it is called the Picardy third. I'm sure you have heard of it, Picardy third. It's essentially a borrowed chord because we're in a minor key, but we borrow the final one chord from its parallel major. So how do we analyze it? When we see it in the score, we see certain chord qualities in the score, and we need to decide, well, what is their function? And the main function of borrowed chords doesn't change. So a four chord whether it is a major triad or a minor triad, is still a predominant chord, a subdominant chord. The two chord the same, whether it's minor or diminished. The Roman 6 is still a predominant chord, whether it's a major triad or a minor triad. So the function doesn't change. If we don't know, if we see some chords that look unusual and we think there might be a modulation, well, we need to look forward to where the resolution takes place, a 5-1 resolution, a dominant tonic resolution, and then go backwards. And then, so maybe those chords, they look unusual because they're borrowed chords. At least we need to consider that possibility. Anyways, I hope you will explore the very rich repertoire of romantic music with quite a few borrowed chords. Bye.